aside from art, fashion. I loved clothes. I didn't really necessarily want to be like a top designer or anything like that. I just loved clothes. This was in the 90s when I was growing up. I was born in the 80s. This was in the 90s when I was growing up as a kid. And back then, a lot of, well, both my sisters wore boys' clothing, men's clothing. This is when like Crisscross and all these hip hop artists were wearing, if you were a girl, TLC, you were wearing, you know, male apparel. And so when we went school shopping, they would get male Tommy Hilfiger, Nautica, Gap, all these things that were like male sizes from the male section. So I could just take their clothes as if they were my older brother. I could use that same kind of method of sneaking in their room, grabbing a shirt, grabbing a pair of pants. It was all men's clothes. To me, I didn't see any difference in it. And I started going to school and people were like, oh my God, those Nike boots, those are crazy. And I'm just like, I got to get home and not get these dirty before my sisters get home and see that I took their boots or I took their sweatshirt. But I loved, how I felt in clothing. When I felt like I looked good, I liked the compliments. I felt like it was just something that I liked getting really, really dressed up or just really like stylish. It just was really cool to me. Those two things stuck forever. Those two things that I loved gave me a gut feeling. Once I kind of harnessed in on those two, I focused in my art more and I focused on dressing more throughout high school and then boom, into college. The high school years, I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, but I was always drawing. People I don't think really knew that I drew because I didn't put it out there, but I always did. And with fashion, I feel like I definitely hit strides in high school where I had like a lot of dope things, in my opinion, that were awesome, that I loved, that were stylish things, until I went on a trip, the Heritage Tour, my senior year, which was a tour of a lot of not only historically black colleges, but just colleges on the East Coast, just to see where, the history of these schools, and for me to see, if any of these schools are going to be places that I want to actually attend. One of the schools we went to was the HU, the one and only HU. That's Hampton University, not to be confused with the other HU. That's Howard University. Hampton University was a place that I applied for. And it was a university that I was in a program for those who are from Portland, and for those specifically who are from Black Portland, I was in the Prospective Gents Club. And we had a member that had graduated a few years earlier. He ended up going to Hampton. He was there when I went to go visit the college. The college was beautiful. I believe they called it your home by the sea because it was built on like a bay kind of area in Hampton, Virginia. There was absolutely zero in Hampton, Virginia, but a really, really beautiful campus of Hampton University. So when I applied like a couple months before I went on my Heritage Tour. Went on the Heritage Tour as my other classmates and them were kind of touring the campus. One of the directors, the actually main front runner of the Bridge Builders, the Perspective Gents Club, Kevin Fuller, he took me to the admissions office and he said, we're not going to leave here until we get an answer. I want you to know if you're going to be here next year or not. So the admin person came out and said, how can I help you? He told them he applied here. He wants to know if he got in. We're here. Let's see if we got in, like live while we're on campus. I'm thinking he's crazy because I don't know if they can make that decision that fast, but it turned out she goes in the back. We sit and wait for maybe, 10 minutes, but it seemed like a long time. I'm thinking this isn't going to work. They're probably going to say, we're still on the waiting list or whatever the case is. But she comes out and she says, congratulations, welcome to Hampton University. So I immediately was like, oh my God, I just got into a college that I really wanted to go to right here, right on the spot. I know where I'm going next year as a freshman in college. So I'm pumped. So I tell my family, of course, my family is livid because I'm going to go from Portland to Virginia all the way across the country. This was the beginning of me feeling like when you were born in Portland, all you wanted to do was get out. And I say that because back then, in my opinion, Portland really didn't have an identity to me. I didn't realize the Keep Portland Weird thing, that was our identity. I didn't think about that. I just thought nobody came from here. You know, we have the Blazers, but that's pretty much it. There aren't big things that happen in this city. We barely get, musical performers that come here back then. It just seemed like a small town. I just didn't feel like I wanted to be here forever. And those who are from here know this is easily a place that if you're not careful, you can be here forever and never leave. And I just didn't want to. I wanted to go as far away as like humanly possible. Virginia was probably one of the furthest places I could possibly go from Oregon, but I was like, hey, I'm going here. My parents were like, okay, whatever. So fast forward, summer goes, and then I go to Hampton. Freshman year starts, I go to Hampton, and I'm having the time of my life.